Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the E23 podcast. Tonight I got myself, Hector, also known as CN6, and with me, I got Hav.
Yo.
And tonight we are going to be reviewing Sinners. And it's a movie that we have been waiting for a while.
For a long time now.
Yeah. Before we actually get into it, guys, I'd like to remind you guys that you guys can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Make sure you follow our socials at Heat Revision Podcast. Go to heatrevisionpodcast.com. You're going to see all of our links through there. Also, make sure you join the Discord, top link in the description. Join the Discord, guys. Come chat with us about video games, movies, TV shows, anything like that. But with that being said, man, let's get into it. Sinners.
Yeah, man. So Sinners. Sinners is the new written and directed film by Ryan Coogler, which we know is the writer and director for multiple movies. He did his debut in 2013 with the movie Fruitvale Station, which is a movie that I actually saw like way back when, and I remember it being really good. Okay. His next film that he directed after that was the first Creed movie.
Whoa.
Yeah, Creed
really?
1. And then after Creed, he worked on Black Panthers 1 and 2, which are those movies, part of the MCU, movies that we've seen. Black Panther was one of the biggest movies in the MCU of all time at the time, the first one. And it was like one of the big movies that was like right before Infinity War, I remembered. And then obviously Wakanda Forever was the sequel where unfortunately Chadwick Boseman had passed away. So Shuri, the sister of his, takes the mantle of Black Panther, and it deals with Namor and all that. But he's also been a writer for Creed 3 and uncredited rewrites.
Oh, wow.
On Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen Creed 3. I remember you said that it was really good.
All the Creed movies are fire.
Wakanda Forever, right? Didn't he do that one as well? I thought
both Black Panther movies.
I thought Wakanda Forever was. I forgot what I gave it, man, at the time. I liked it though. I liked it a lot. So it was pretty cool seeing him return for this, especially Michael B. Jordan, man. Like he's on, like, I want to say he's up there too, like he in terms of acting. Oh yeah, and also directing and doing his own thing. So he's also very talented as well. So, and
this is because if you think about it, Ryan Coogler has made all his projects with him. Because Michael B. Jordan starred in Fruitvale Station. He starred in Creed's 1 and 3. He was the antagonist in Black Panther. He was in Black Panther 2 in that, like, in Shuri's like vision thing when she takes the potion, the Black Panther potion, and now Sinners. So him and Coogler have worked together almost throughout all of Coogler's career. He has been in every single project that he's done. So they're together.
That is, yeah.
I see it as like Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are together the way Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio are together.
I gotcha.
Like how they do movies together and shit. Yeah. So this is crazy because like this is another movie that he's doing with him.
Yeah, that is cool. I didn't really put that together.
So we have Sinners has finally come out. It is here, and it is described to be a period piece. It is a movie that takes place in the 1930s, and it focuses on Michael B. Jordan. He plays a dual role where he plays twin brothers. Side note, before I keep going, I thought the technology that they used to make it seem like they were two people, I thought was done phenomenally. There was a lot of times where I tried to like distinguish like how did he pass him the cigar?
And you know, here's the thing, right? Is that scene? I feel like they did that on purpose to showcase, like, yeah, you check this out, like, look how well it's done. Because they showed that scene for like pretty long, and then they show him, I guess, exchange of cigarettes like twice or something. Yeah, and I feel like they did that on purpose to show you, oh shit, like look at the tech that we got. This shit looks real. Because it's true, man. I've seen some movies where they tried doing that, and you could just tell. Yeah, that's like, okay, yeah, I could definitely see the line, or I could tell that you're looking this way, and then it's really that way, or that is a green screen. Yeah. So here it was like, whoa, okay, I can't even tell. Yeah, I can't even fucking tell. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Even with the trailer, I didn't even know that there was gonna be twins, bro. Really? No, I swear to God. I only saw the trailer once.
Oh, that's why.
And that was it. It was like the first trailer that I think that they showed.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was just Michael B. Jordan. It was just like him. I didn't.
And the
see the other
poster,
one.
I mean, the poster, the
just
poster,
him, too.
It was just him.
Yeah.
It was just one guy.
So it's like, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
That was new to me when I was watching the movie. I'm like, at first I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, who is this guy? Like, this guy looks just like him. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's interesting.
So what's it called? So Michael B. Jordan plays a dual role. He plays Smoke and
Yeah.
Stack. The Smoke and Stack twins is what the reputation that they have. And they kind of have like a lawless reputation where people are kind of scared of them. They know that they've been like, they're pretty violent. Probably they're killers or they have a violent background. So people try not to mess with them. And based on the trailer, we see that it focuses on them two in the midst of the 1930s era of, where were they?
Wasn't it Mississippi?
I think that's where my mind went to.
Let me see. I could
Or
check.
Oklahoma or something like
I could
that.
check.
I could probably
Yeah, you go ahead. I'll find it.
Mississippi.
Was it? Okay.
So it was in Mississippi in 1930s, and it focuses on them while they are amongst vampires.
Yes.
Because the trailer, the big marketing ploy in the trailers that we saw is that it's a movie that deals with vampires, and basically we're just gonna like, oh shit, it's just gonna be like a vampire movie. It's gonna be like an action-packed movie where these guys are gonna be slaying vampires, vampire slayers in the 1930s. Interesting. However, now that we've seen the movie, we do want to warn the audience who plan to go see this movie that it's not always about that. The trailers and everything heavily marketed the vampire aspect, and it is in it, but that doesn't show up till like way later into the movie. Because the first half of the movie is a lot of setup. It's set up not like in like a boring way, like, oh, boring setup that we don't care about, but it has to take its time to introduce the characters one by one, lay out the groundwork, lay out the story, the motive, and what's going on. And then eventually you get to the part where vampires start to get introduced, that it just adds a lot more depth to the plot that was already handled. Like at one point I thought to myself, like, damn, if this movie was not... Because you see the trailers. Oh shit, this movie has vampires. At one point, I remember we were watching the movie today, and I was thinking to myself, if this movie had no vampires, would I care? That's a question that I asked myself. I have an answer.
That's a good question.
But I want to ask you, now that after we've watched the movie, without saying spoilers, because we'll get there later, spoiler-free section right now. If this movie had no vampires in it, and it was going on that story where the brothers are going to put together a juke, a blues sort of juke hangout, little club that people can come in and like drink and have fun and dance, and all they do is play blues music and all that, like a little place for themselves. But then you have these people who are trying to run them out of town, quote unquote. Except that the people running out of town are not vampires. Eliminate the vampire aspect. Would you care for this movie the same if it eliminated the vampire element?
So personally, bro, I'm gonna be honest. No. I think no, because I've always been interested in the story itself. And how I was just immersed, man. I was like locked in with it. You know what I mean? I think it got to because I remember you mentioned it before we saw the because I didn't see any reviews, anything. I just saw like the scores were on Tomatoes. I'm like, oh shit. And obviously we did the HRV news pod, which we know it's like one of the highest rated movies. So that's all I knew and shit. You're the one that told me that you saw some people saying it was like a slow burn and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I didn't really feel that, in my opinion, bro. I think from the beginning to that point where like, oh, the vampires show up, I was like locked in and I was like immersed with it. If anything, it kind of reminded me of like those movies that I would be locked in for, like recently, probably like Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon, right? Where it's just set up, but you are so intrigued with the characters, like the world around it, and like their plans of what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like you care about that, and you're so immersed into that you don't really think about the rest until it happens. You know what I mean? So if the vampires weren't here, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I would have cared as much. I'm gonna be real. I was just as interested in like what they were doing.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I'm on the same boat. I think if the vampires were taken out completely, the movie would still stand on its own for the story that it was trying to tell.
Yeah.
But then eventually you get to the part where the vampires show up and it just adds a whole nother element of like horror, another
like, whoa, what
element
the
of like, how are we going to get through the night? How are we going to get through this?
Yeah.
You know, and all that stuff. But the thing is that we don't want to give away too many spoilers because there's a lot to talk about, especially with the vampire aspect. Maybe some deeper themes, maybe some deeper messages that the movie was trying to convey.
For sure.
There's a bunch that we could probably get into, but that's like really spoiler territory. So we're going to play it safe and just try to keep it spoiler free as possible before we get to that point. So I guess the first thing we should get out of the way, without giving away spoilers, the overall plot, we already said like we were really immersed, right? But now I asked, would you have been immersed in this movie when there's no vampires? Well, now I want to ask you, Sinners the movie as a whole, what we saw today, vampires included, like plot-wise, what did you think of this movie?
Ooh, that's kind of a loaded question. I thought we were gonna go like what'd you think of the performances and like that type of route? But hey, fuck it, let's get into it, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. I thought this movie was phenomenal, man.
I agree.
I thought it was great, bro. The pacing was great. The characters, you feel an immediate connection with the twin brothers and their vibe. You're like, yo, what the fuck? And the era that they're in, and you feel for the people. Plus, you add the music and the blues and a lot of symbolism, bro. There's a lot of symbolism in this movie and a lot of themes that you could maybe point out into. Especially like into the black culture and black community, especially with the music and the struggles that they went through. Yeah. You know, you see a lot of that, bro. And I think it was just done in a fucking awesome way, especially when you include the vampires. Like I said, that's spoiler talk. We'll theorize, whatever. But even the vampires, I saw them as like symbolic.
Yes.
In a way.
I did too.
You know, and it's like, it's super cool, man, and creative. Honestly, man, I was mostly interested because I told you this off before we recorded, that it reminds me of that 30 Days of Night movie that's based on like a comic book or something, where these vampires come out and they start like terrorizing people and shit. And the reason why this movie hooked me, I'm not gonna lie, is because number one, it's the vampires look cool. Like I love the shot that we got where like he has like the red eyes and shit. That's fucking badass. And the aspect of almost like you treat them like they're being treated like zombies.
Yes.
You know, where, okay, I'm gonna bite this person and kill them, but they're gonna come back as a vampire.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I thought that was cool as fuck. It like combined two things that I really, I guess, fuck with. But all right, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. HRV headquarters getting a little bit rowdy. But anyway, like I said, I like the design of the vampires and I like the element of like the zombie shit. Because from what I remember of that 30 Days of Night, and comment down below, guys, if I might be wrong, but they would just kill them. Like they wouldn't turn. So I'm like, dude, that's fucking sick. I'm going to be honest, dude. I kind of expected it to kind of be that way. But no, it's not like that. And that is why I think... that's what Javi's trying to say. It's trying to warn you guys, like, hey, it's not that type of movie. It's that element is there and it's interesting. It's very intriguing, but it's not the sole focus of it, especially in the first first half of the fucking movie or whatever. So yeah, I think, did I answer your fucking question, bro?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember.
No, yeah, you did.
So yeah,
I just wanted to get what your thoughts were.
We could break it down even further. We could talk about the performances and like overall that. Yeah. Overall, I thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought it was really great too. I thought the movie did a really good job of, like you said, with the symbolism and the deeper themes that the movie's trying to portray in the story that it's telling. And I felt like the story that they were telling was just a very interesting one. When you add the vampire element, it just like elevates so much more. As far as like the performances, I guess main character out of the way, and Michael B. Jordan, I personally thought his performance was phenomenal.
Absolutely, bro.
Only because he's playing twins.
Yeah.
He's playing a dual role. But like playing twins can be a hard thing because you have to convince the audience that you're playing two different people. Because you have Smoke, who is like the more serious, more business-minded,
guy.
more reserved type of twin brother. And then you have Stack, who's more smiley, he's more charismatic, he's more all talk, he's more out there. You know, he's not as reserved. So he really does a phenomenal job differentiating that he is playing two different types of people. They just happen to look identically alike. And so I thought his performance was really well done. And I don't know if maybe I'm on the high. I don't know if I'm in the high because I really liked this movie. But, like, I could see this being, like, an Oscar nomination. You know what I mean? Just because, like, he was able to portray two different people. And I don't want to hear a single one of you motherfuckers commenting, yo, bro, Jim Carrey did the same thing in Sonic 3. No, motherfucker. He played the same fucking character with wrinkles and white hair as the difference. That's literally it. This is what I'm talking about. This kind of dual role is what I think needs to be recognized, bro. Yeah. That's actually a good question. Just little side thing. Do you think Sinners would be a good contender for like an Oscar Best Picture?
Ooh, that's a good question, man. I know as of right now,
I know it's April. It's like early, but like
as of right now, I would say so. Yeah, as of right now, like all the movies that we've gotten. Yeah, absolutely. I want to say my top 2 fucking movies right now, like of the year, is this movie and Warfare. Yes. Those are my top 2 movies right now, bro. Yeah.
My top 3 are those 2 plus Companion.
Oh yeah, you're
right. I like Companion a lot. But I mean we still have like another like 6-7 months of the year left. So like there's gonna be a lot more movies to come. But as of right now.
Yeah, there are definitely good movies that we've seen already. But I'm talking of like Oscar worthy for me. Those 2 so far, Warfare and fucking Sinners.
Yeah, man, I agree. I also thought Haley Steinfeld did a good job in the role. Yes, she doesn't have a huge role in the movie. In fact, she's introduced a little later on, and then even then she kind of goes away for a bit and comes back like when they open up the juke place and they're open for business and that first night. Yeah, and I thought she did really well as well. But I think Michael B. Jordan did phenomenal as well. But I think the standout, in my opinion, was the actor who played Preacher Boy Sammy, the blues singer, Michael B. Jordan, the Smoke and Stack twins' cousin, who's played by an actor Miles Catton, Caton, Caton. Oh, okay. Miles Catton. This is his acting debut.
Really?
This is the first acting role he has ever done. Wow. This is his first acting role. This is his debut, bro.
That's impressive.
It's impressive because I thought he was fire in this fucking movie, bro.
Oh yeah, he did great.
He did phenomenal in this fucking role, dude.
I liked everybody, man. I'm gonna be real. I'm just like it's just really. Obviously, we have our standouts, right? We talked about him, and then obviously Michael B. Jordan, right? We talked about Haley Steinfeld and stuff. But I think everyone that was in this movie, was great.
Yeah, I agree.
Like even their characters, like you learn to like them and shit and feel for them. And I think that's very important, especially when you're dealing with a lot of characters. Yes. So that's really good.
Yeah, man.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, dude, I know. Wow. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I kind of see it as David Cornsweet now that he's up to like play Superman. Yeah. And when that movie comes out, if it turns out to be really good and it breaks box office numbers, whatever, it's going to completely change his life, dude. He's going to be in a lot more fucking movies. Like, we've seen it happen where actors have that one breakthrough role and then they're in fucking everything. Yeah. I feel like that's going to be coming to Miles Catton, bro. Okay. It's going to come to him because he did a really good job in this movie. And I could just see him getting more roles because of the standout. In fact, I saw that he was doing an interview marketing for Sinners. And they asked him, like, what would be your, like, dream role? Like, what would you like to do after this? And he's like, his goal is he wants to join the Marvel Universe. Oh. Yeah, he says he wants to join the Marvel Universe. Really? And then, he said, I wanted to join the Marvel Universe. His quote was, I mean, my name is Miles.
Oh, man. Nah. All right, maybe you're reaching, man. Maybe you're reaching. Hey,
I don't know. I mean, he looks young, dude.
He does.
I don't even know how old he is, but like he looks pretty young. I don't even know. Like he doesn't even have his own page like on Wikipedia or nothing, because he's so new that like we don't know anything about him. We don't know his age. We don't know anything. Just this is his first ever role, and I think it's impressive because it's like, damn, like I wonder who was the person. It could have been Ryan Coogler who made the call to like hire him and put him in the movie. Like who sought him out? Like where'd he come from? Like because usually with new upcoming actors, like they will have like little small roles in previous movies.
Yeah.
Maybe they've done like television episodes, like something small. Everyone has to come from somewhere. But this is his debut on a movie so big, and he's given one of the lead roles in a movie. It just makes you think like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I hope it's not the last we see of him, because he did really well in this movie.
I agree.
I could see this being I'm gonna repeat myself earlier. This is a supporting actor Oscar nominee, in my opinion. I think he did a phenomenal job.
No, I agree, man.
I see him being like nominated for best supporting actor for this movie, man. Just because this movie was like top notch all the way through.
Yeah. I agree.
What did you think about the vampire element that's introduced halfway through the movie? The horror element, how they handled the vampires, sort of like how they were portrayed in the movie. Like, what were your thoughts on the vampires?
Oh man, I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot, bro. I thought it was really cool because at first it seems like you're just watching like a normal like movie.
Yeah,
you're like, okay, cool. We're seeing these. We're meeting these brothers. They're coming back to town. They're back now in their hometown, but now they're successful. They're gonna try to change their town and shit. And then all of a sudden, it takes kind of a turn, and it's more sinister, more dark, and it's like, whoa, that's pretty fucking cool. And the way the vampires were portrayed, like I said, I like the red eyes. I don't know who that guy. I've seen him before. The guy that played that vampire,
the main one.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him before, like the leader vampire. All I gotta say, man, he looks raw, bro. He looks raw as the vampire with his like long claws or nails or whatever, with the blood on his mouth and like to his chest and the red eyes. Dude, that's super fucking sick, man. I don't know. I actually like that. And I'm assuming he's like the leader because no one else had red eyes. Everyone else had like blue eyes. And like he was the one with the red. So it kind of made it seem like maybe he was the master vampire and stuff. But yeah, so in terms of the horror element, I want to say it was more... I want to say it was more eerie and more suspenseful, like thriller type of vibe,
right?
You know, I wouldn't say it was like horror, but still, you still felt that tension whenever the vampires were actually colliding with the good guys, essentially. And I love it, man. Especially with the whole turning them into vampires. I thought that was really cool. There are some things that I wish I like. The way everything went down, I wasn't expecting it like that. I was expecting I was expecting for the vampires to do this and that. And it's kind of, I can't say because it's spoiler.
Right.
But I was expecting something else the way it went down. But even then, the way it played out, I was still satisfied. And I was like, yo, this is pretty fire, man. I like it. So
yeah,
I thought the vampires were cool.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool too. I really liked I mean, you pretty much said everything.
Yeah, I
said.
You like the red eyes on the main guy?
I mean, I like how you can kind of see like the white in the dark, like when it's really dark out, you can kind of like see their eyes through the shadows and stuff like that. That was a nice detail. I thought that was really cool. But I also like
there's one specific thing that I want to mention, but like I feel like it's definitely spoilers.
No,
it cut us off guard. We're like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
And I wish I wanted to see more of that.
Okay, I know.
I wanted to see more of that shit. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Dude. I remember being like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I wanted to see more of that, man.
Yeah, man. What did you think of the music? The music that was in this movie. Man.
The music plays a big role in this movie, and it's blues, right?
It's blues music,
and I think it's more so of like the way I saw it in this movie is like music is a way to soothe people and to comfort, but it can also be used to welcome unwanted guests. That's how I took it, and I also saw it how I guess the blues and the music in the black community in the culture has like evolved and changed, because there's like a scene where we see some of that, you know, and it's like goes to show you like, oh, like look how far music has come.
Yes.
And even though they're drastically different, they all do the same thing, either good or bad. You know what I mean? And I think that is like the deeper message that I really liked. And the only thing is I love the blues. I think it sounds fire. I love when I forgot his name already.
The new guy?
Yeah, when he was singing and shit.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's super fucking fire.
Really good.
I wish, I'm not gonna lie, it's not like a negative or anything, but I just wish we got more of that. Like I wish we had more singing and more like,
yeah.
You know, I think that would have been super cool. But from what we got, yeah, absolutely. And I love the way the director was able to use music and like use it as like a symbol of a bigger message, which we'll talk about like in spoilers. But like I said, what I thought of is, you know, how it can be used as good and evil. And it's kind of true, man. If you look at it, man, there's like, if you listen to music nowadays, it could be good and also could be, you know, evil. And the whole the pastor, like he's like the pastor boy, right? His father, he says mentions like, oh, if you dance too long with the devil, he's gonna follow you home or something. And that's very true. I remember, at least back then, man, especially with like rock music, people would say, oh, that's the devil music,
right?
And shit. And clearly here, same thing. Like in the blues, apparently, I guess that was devil music, according to, you know, his father, who was a pastor, right? He was a pastor.
Yeah.
So it's just really, really interesting. So yeah, the music I thought was fucking great, man. I love the way they did it. I just wish, like I said, not a negative. I just wish we got more of it.
Yeah, man, the music would play a really huge part,
cool.
man, and it definitely like helps you kind of bring you into the atmosphere, the overall atmosphere of the movie, which is another thing that I really liked. Was the atmosphere, sort of the vibe that it like lays out in the world that you're living in.
Like but the set pieces too.
Yeah.
Like the set design.
Yeah. Is
like really fucking cool and believable.
You actually believe you're so immersed with everything that you actually believe that you're in the 1930s, bro. There were some times where I just get lost.
Yeah.
In the movie that I just forget, oh shit, I'm watching a movie. Like I have to blink and be like, oh shit.
Oh shit. He's like, I mean, don't worry, I got your back. Oh wait. I'm right here.
I'm right here. Dude. And I sometimes forget, like, the movie was filmed, like, you notice the movie would look different?
What do you mean?
Like the black bars? Like, did you notice the movie was super thin? The screen?
I did not notice.
Really? Yeah, that movie looks like it's filmed, like, kind of a little bit, like, wide.
Did it, like, it didn't matter the way we saw it, right? We saw it in Dolby.
We saw it in Dolby.
Yeah.
We saw this movie in Dolby. We felt like we had to.
Which looked fucking great.
Yeah, dude. And the sound was fire and everything.
Absolutely. They do like the surround. What is it called? What is that called?
Surround sound.
Surround sound shit with the music. Dude, that's trippy and fucking cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. But I noticed that there was a certain film aspect that Ryan Coogler chose because it looks a lot more skinny. It looks a lot more like wide. Whereas if you were to compare that to like other movies, bro, it does not look like that. I'm not saying it's a negative, but I did notice that it was filmed using different size aspect ratio, different millimeter aspect ratio.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but like it kind of, I don't know, for some reason it helped gave the movie like a more cinematic look, I feel. So I kind of appreciated it.
Yeah.
But back to the atmosphere. I really liked the atmosphere that it built, and everything in the movie built onto that, but then the shift happens where the vampires get introduced. And I liked the atmosphere of feeling like you're trapped. Because this juke little club hangout that they create is now empty. And like all the vampires are outside waiting for our main good guys to come outside so they can be taken. Yeah. And so now it comes down to we can't go outside, we can't let them in, we can't trust them. How do we plan this attack? How are we gonna? It's gonna be so long until sunrise. How are we gonna get through it? Like the overall atmosphere of like feeling enclosed, feeling isolated, feeling trapped. I also enjoyed that aspect too. And I liked how it like did a 180 flip to where we were doing before and now where we're at right now. You know what I mean? So I really liked the atmosphere, the overall just tone and the vibe and everything. Let's see, we talked about the music, we talked about the performances, we talked about the story, we talked about the atmosphere. Is there anything else you wanna probably mention?
I want to say that I do appreciate that we're like during this time in the movie. I was telling you this off the pod that we don't really see movies take place during this era, like during this time. So I thought it was really, really cool that we finally got that and like have a story that's related during that time. So I definitely do appreciate that. And I think we did talk about some of the symbolism. We can't go super deep into it.
I want to.
I know, just because it's spoiler, but just know it's definitely there. And I do agree with Hav said. What he said earlier is if you're expecting like a 30 Days of Night, if you guys seen that movie, or action-packed vampire slaying some bullshit, it's not really that at all.
It's not.
But either way, it's still very, like, you're still gonna feel immersed. At least I was, man. You know, I was enjoying what I was seeing on the screen. I enjoyed seeing the new characters being introduced and like learning everyone's backstory and who they are and what they do. Yeah, man, I thought it was great. I think that's everything for the non-spoiler, man. I mean,
I feel like that's everything that we can really say, because I feel like the other thoughts that we have are treading on spoilers.
Yeah.
So like, I think I've said everything I have to say.
Yeah.
Spoiler free wise, do you have anything else you want to add?
I'm trying to think, man, just because I don't want to like, because I've done this before where I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like I should have said this in the non-spoiler.
Yeah.
No, man, I think that is everything. I think we pretty much touched on everything.
Okay. All right. Then we're going to move on to our ratings and everything. Yeah. I'll go first. First things first, I think this is worth a movie ticket. I think this is a movie that I urge everyone to go out and see because it is phenomenally made. I would rewatch this movie again. This is one of those movies where like I feel like I need to put somebody on. Like it happens once in a while, but there's a movie where I love it so much that I'm like, I need someone else to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you want to watch a fire movie? Watch Sinners. And like, I put them on, and then they'll come back to me a few days later. Yo, the movie's lit. I told you, girl. Like, this is one of those movies I feel like I got to put somebody on. Overall, I thought this movie was fantastically done. There was a lot of chatter on social media. A lot of people are saying that Sinners is Ryan Coogler's magnum opus. That it's his best work yet, that it is the best film in his career so far. And up until now, I have seen all his other movies that he's directed and written. I'm kind of on board with that, dude. I do think this is Ryan Coogler's best film that he's done in his career. He has mastered everything that goes into the movie, down to the characters, down to the acting, the plot, the tone, the deeper the themes, the messages, how he can shift audiences' attention from one thing to another. This movie is very rich in its lore, its backstory, and the environment, and the acting, and the music, and like his movies have all had a level of soul and heart to it, but this one feels like very personal. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it feels like it's coming from a personal place in Ryan Coogler's like in his career. Like I wonder what inspired him to tell a story like this, because it's so carefully crafted that he handled it with such care and executed it perfectly that it had to have come from some place of like personal level. And I would like to know like more about it. It's one of those things where like I want to watch interviews or watch behind the scenes and see like what was his mindset? Where did the idea for Sinners come from? Because everything about this movie was just well made. And like I can't speak enough on its high praises. So I want to hold on.
What?
Give me one quick second. I'm going to look over all the movies that we reviewed this week. Or sorry, not this week. This year, 2020. In the year of 2025, I just want to double check. Okay, because I wanted to say something, but I don't know if it was true or not. I wanted to double check. Giving the first one I'm giving this in the entire year. This movie's a 10, bro.
Okay.
I'm giving Sinners a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So this is the first 10 that I've given this year. Yes. It only took till mid-fucking April.
Yeah.
And I remembered last week when we watched and reviewed Warfare, and I told you guys, I gave that movie a 9 because I thought Warfare was fire. It was phenomenal. But the reason why I didn't straight it from a 10 is because I reserve the 10s for movies that are phenomenal like Warfare, but that left me felt impacted, left me feeling like, yo, that fucking movie, like it felt in like an event. It didn't feel like watching a fire movie. It felt like you walked out of like an event where you just think about the movie. You think about like you replay the scenes in the movie in your head, and dude, that one scene was fire, and dude, I can't believe the acting was on point. I left with that impact feeling with Sinners.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel gladly giving this movie a 10 out of 10. The first one I'm giving in the year. So far, bro.
Okay. So, okay. I actually do have another thing I want to say is that the writing and dialogue in this movie is fire.
Dude, yes.
We didn't talk about that. And it has to be, man, especially because shit doesn't start the crazy shit starts happening like later on in the movie, like I want to say the third act, possibly like a bit, you know. So obviously, how do you retain your audience's attention? Well, you have to have a compelling story, and also the dialogue has to be really on point, to the point where you can literally just watch 10 minutes of a fucking scene of people talking, exchanging dialogue, like the way that the way that the movie was written and how the characters were interacting with each other, the way that they were saying things, and it was just phenomenal, man. I liked it a lot, and I can't necessarily add much more to what Hav said, because I definitely agree. I guess maybe I should talk about Warfare for like just a little bit, just because maybe some of you guys haven't listened to one of the HRV news spot where we talked about it. But the way Hav is describing how he felt impacted and stuff, I felt that way with Warfare. And in the news pod, same thing with Mario, by the way. Mario and I, we both gave it a 10. And I think in the news pod, I said it's because maybe Mario and I, we just like more about like war and like military army shit. We're definitely into that. And the reason why I felt really impacted by that movie was because of how real it was. It was like probably one of the most realistic warfare movies that we've ever gotten. And it's super fucking cool, man, to the point where I actually saw some clips of like interviews and stuff, and how the actors were explaining, oh yeah, like this is actually real. I made sure I was doing everything I was told, like by memory. And the opening scene to the movie of how badass and how it's honestly, man, I'm gonna say this right now, it's probably one of the best opening scenes in a movie in Warfare. And I remember I was watching like this interview thing, and the cast said how that's what happened before the boys went out to a mission. They would always watch that film or that clip with that music, and they'd get hyped like that. And so it was just so it was like an accurately, the director, the co-director, both of the directors, right? One of them was actually in the platoon. They depicted an experience like so fucking well, and it's clearly done by memory and by like, I guess, passion, man, to show this is what happened. And I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just, I wish we did a full length review for that one, man. I had like a lot to say, but I'm going to try kind of dragging it on. But anyway, I felt impacted with that one. Warfare is amazing, phenomenal. And then same thing with Sinners, man. I love where it takes place. I love the themes in this movie. We'll dive deeper into that, and the vampires, and we'll talk about more as to what I wanted to see more of and what I didn't expect. I didn't expect how it went down. But either way, man, I agree with Hob, man. I think this is phenomenal. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 as well. So this is my second movie I'm giving a 10 out of 10 yeah. So, and we're already in April?
Yeah, mid-April.
Okay, fuck. All right,
dude.
So yeah, with that being said,
you gave 10s back-to-back weeks.
Did I?
Yeah, because we saw Warfare last week, right?
Oh yeah, I think so.
So it was back-to-back.
Back-to-back.
Damn, you must be feeling good.
Hey, man.
Well, I mean, I do too. I thought Warfare was fire too.
Yeah,
but like, damn, I didn't give it a 10 though. It's like, fuck. Imagine watching a movie you left impacted twice.
That's facts, man. That's facts.
That's crazy, bro.
I
hope it's like that with Superman and Fantastic Four, because they both fall in the same month.
Yeah,
better happen, bro. I swear to fucking God. Bro.
And there were some movies that we missed this month as well that we plan on watching like whenever we can.
Yeah,
which was the Drop movie, The Amateur, and there's another one. I forgot. There's another movie. But who knows? Those movies might have been fucking dope. Whatever, you know? But anyway, with that being said, Hav and I were both giving this 10. I'm assuming, I'm going to be real, I think it's safe to say that probably Mario would have given it this one a 10 as well. You know, unfortunately, he's in Japan right now, so he can't see it. Or he said he was going to try to see it over there in Japan.
He said he's going to maybe find a movie theater that's showing it in hopefully English.
Yeah.
And so
hopefully he's able to, because, but anyway, with that being said, that is the spoiler section for Sinners. Please, guys, let us know, what do you guys think down in the comments below. We're going to be transferring over to the to the spoiler section. We're going to dive deeper into the movie and explain the things that, maybe the themes that we picked up on, the scenes that we really like. Maybe I was going to say dislike, but I don't think there's any scene that we disliked.
No.
but yeah, we're going to be going over there in 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys, we're now in the spoiler section for Sinners. So you have been warned. Okay, what do we talk about first? What do you think?
So I want to talk about what I took away from the movie as far as symbolism.
Okay.
Because there's clearly, and this is one that I picked up on, and I would have a really difficult time if someone told me, even if the director, like Ryan Coogler, respect to the man, but if he tried telling me like, nah, man,
this ain't it, bro.
That's not what I was trying to display with my movie. I'm going to be like,
nah.
Are you sure though? Like,
okay.
Because it's a little bit, I kind of saw some of the workings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me be more specific. I think that the twin brothers created this juke hangout club place, and they're only really letting in the black people in. And all the people are coming in and they're partying and they're drinking, they're dancing and they're singing their souls out to blues music and everything, right?
Yeah.
And the moment that these white people try to come up in because they want to be part of the fun, they get turned away. They get turned away by Cornbread, right? The bodyguard guy,
which I've seen before, bro. He's familiar,
dude.
Where the fuck is he from?
I literally said the same thing, bro. I was like, where the fuck have I seen this guy from?
He's familiar, dude.
Dude, he looks familiar. And you know why? 2 reasons. One, he looks like Forrest Whitaker, the actor.
Oh,
he looks like Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, is that his son? Like, who the fuck is this guy?
He looks familiar, bro. I feel like we've seen him before in a movie.
Yeah, look. This guy. He looks like him.
Yeah.
He looks like Forrest Whitaker.
I'm going to see if I can find him.
But you know what I think it is, bro? His name is Omar Benson Miller.
That's the Cornbread?
Yes.
That's Cornbread?
Mm-hmm.
Benson Miller?
Omar Benson Miller.
Okay.
The last time... Okay, yeah. You see, I had a feeling. I know where he's from.
What are the movies?
Well, I'm going to be real, bro. Movie-wise, he's not in a lot. He's not in a lot of movies. But he was in Homefront with Jason Statham.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one movie I know him from. He's in Jason Statham's Homefront.
He was in 8 Mile.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
I've never seen 8 Mile, dude. Yeah, maybe I need to change that.
Yeah, okay. I feel like, okay. I knew he looked familiar, but yeah, Homefront, okay. I'm trying to look at the other movies that he's been in, but I don't recognize most of these. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I only know him from Homefront. That's where I recognized it. Trust me, I went through his filmography. I'm like, bro, I've seen this dude somewhere, but I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. He's just got that face. Yeah. But back to what I was saying, he gets the white people get turned away, right? But then the white people are standing out there outside waiting for them to come out, and then eventually you find out that those white people, well, they're the vampires. And one by one, they're picking off all of the black people that are inside of the place. Mm-hmm. So I took this as a symbolism to what times were at the time that this movie took place. Very much whites against blacks.
Okay.
How white people are trying to wipe the blacks away. In a sort of like in a symbolism kind of way, because the blacks are portrayed as like the innocent ones, and you have the white people portraying as the vampires, and they're trying to lure them out. There is a lot of you deal with characters who are part of the Klan, and so there's a lot of like little clues and elements that kind of add on to the bigger theme of the movie. So I took it as like white people trying to run black people out of their land type of thing. Only in here, the symbolism is that they're vampires and they're killing them, and turning them into vampires too. But because they're all outside of the juke hangout club, while everyone's inside trying to make sure that the vampires don't get in or nothing. I don't know. That's just sort of like the symbolism that I made.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think I thought about that too. But then if you remember, bro, because in the beginning of the movie, it says like, oh, the blues, they talk about the music a lot and how different cultures, there's always that type of music with that one type of music that welcomes like unwanted people, like evil or some shit.
Yeah, I remember.
And obviously, Sammy Boy, right?
Yeah.
He's like an amazing blues player. And I think that was like the opening to like, that was the opening to welcome the unwanted guest type shit. And it kind of foreshadows as well with it when his father was like, hey, you're dancing with the devil, man. One day he's going to follow you home, you know? And so that was kind of interesting. And I took it like, okay, that happened, right? And then what you said too, I kind of saw that as well. But then in the movie, bro, if you remember, the vampires kind of like help him in a way. Because he's like, don't you remember? He's like, this is the real, like, if you want to be free, you got to join us. We're giving you actual freedom. This barn that you bought is from like the KKK leader. And like he's actually gonna come here this morning and slaughter you guys. If anything, we're helping you out. Like this is freedom.
Yeah, that's true.
So when that happened, that's when my perspective started to shift. Is like, huh, that's interesting. I think it could be a symbolism, bro, of maybe them. It's really difficult, man, because it's super. Because at first, when the vampires introduced, I see it the way you're saying it, but then at the end, near the end, they pull this stuff like, hey, it's like, this is what it means to be free and stuff. And also, you could also think of it as like symbolism of maybe like the past or the devil coming back at you or some shit. Because we know that the brothers, we know in the movie they worked with Al Capone back in Chicago, and that's how they got rich and shit. And so they did bad shit. So it could be maybe like their past catching up to them or something. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
But what do you think of that, dude? When the vampire was like, oh yeah, like this is the way to freedom if you that's what you really want, and like he tells them, hey, like actually I'm kind of saving you guys. You guys are about to die. You got the way you guys bought this from a KKK leader that's gonna come in the morning and kill you guys. When he revealed that, I was like, dude, because like this is slaughterhouse. This is no juke. This is slaughterhouse. And then I brought back the connection to where the brothers were buying the barn and like the land. That was a fire scene, by the way. The way they handled that was badass.
Yeah, it was.
There's no boys here, just grown men with grown money or some shit. I forgot. It was badass. But remember, he looks at the floor. He's like, "You guys just cleaned it," and then he's like, "Yo, man, why are y'all so picky?" And then I'm like, "Whoa, they cleaned it because they've done it before." They've done it before where they sold it to, I guess, like a black folk, and then they all gathered there, and then they just fucking killed them all. And that's why the vampire knew it was a slaughterhouse, because he already knew, like he probably witnessed it or some shit.
Yeah,
you know, and that's why the floors were clean, and that's why he said, he's like, "You guys cleaned the floors recently? Like, what the fuck is this?" And then the guy tried to change the subject. He's like, "Man, what the fuck? I thought y'all were like real buyers. I thought you boys were real buyers," and then it shifted to that. I made that connection, bro. So like it happened before. I'm like, okay, cool. But anyway, what did you think about what the vampire meant? Like, why did he, I guess, essentially, I want to say save, but like help maybe and warn them? What do you think about that? What do you make of that?
Do you think that it kind of adds on to the theme that I mentioned earlier? Because apparently, once they become a vampire, when you bite them, they become one of you, and now they're part of you. Could that be symbolism of like slavery and like them being that their only way to live maybe is by obeying them? That,
or I was thinking maybe what if like it's the vampire's symbolism for I want to say maybe America, or like, you know, white people. I don't fucking know, right? Yeah, of maybe appropriating and like claiming black culture in a way, or adopting the black culture.
That's true.
That's could be another thing too. I'm telling you, there's different ways that you could see this, man.
Yeah, there is.
And it's like, I want to know what the right, like what's right.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
If there is a right answer.
Yeah.
This is like the shit that I'm thinking of. So it could be symbolism of that as well.
Yeah. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
As I'm telling you, this is like where watching the behind the scenes and interviews come into play. Cause like, I want to know more about like Ryan Coogler's thought process when he was making this movie. Like, I want to know like all the deeper themes in the messaging, like what he was trying to portray. Like, just like you, like, I want to know like, what is the meaning? What does the symbolism all mean? Like one or this or the other? Like that's where like all that is going to have to come into play.
Yeah. Cause I thought of like, it's just white, like at the time, you know, like white people trying to control and like take that black culture in like the music and stuff and seek for power and that. That's how I saw it.
Right.
But do you think, but what's interesting is we find out that the leader vampire or whatever was Irish. He has this Irish accent. And then remember when he transformed everyone into vampires, they had this like musical number and it was like in Irish and he was out here, what's it called? Like not tap dancing.
Like the
Irish dance,
jig?
like, yeah, the Irish jig or whatever. That has to mean something. That definitely has to fucking mean something, bro. Because like, what the fuck, Irish? Like during that time, keep in mind, like 1930 something. It's like, what the fuck are you? What's going on? There has to be a deeper message in that for sure. Because I thought that was kind of like strange or like kind of out of place. It's like, whoa, okay, he's Irish and everyone else is like dancing like that and
in that circle. While
yeah,
he's
like what could that mean?
Okay.
What do you think that meant?
I don't.
No, right?
To be honest, I don't know.
But do you? I don't know. I felt like there's a deeper message in that. I could maybe find it. I could maybe look for it. Why? Like what that means?
Because I'm not sure, bro. I mean, because I'm trying to think. Tensions rise when there.
Sorry for the dead air.
Yeah.
So the Irish, this is just like a Google search. The Irish vampire villain Remick is a character who embodies the idea of cultural appropriation, particularly concerning the appropriation of black culture by white individuals. That's what I said. That's what we said.
Right.
Remick, portrayed by Jack O'Connell, is an Irish immigrant turned vampire who seeks to create a unified fellowship of mixed cultures, including black people and even KKK members. This portrayal highlights the historical parallels between Irish and black communities in America, both experiencing colonization, religious persecution, and racial discrimination. And that kind of makes sense because in the movie he was like, I could lead you to fellowship. That's what you want. Interesting. Okay. So we did get that part right about the appropriation and stuff.
Right.
That's really, really interesting. Huh. But it, like I said, I actually want to know why he essentially, because like, oh, this is what real freedom is like. It's like you could be free right now forever. And it's like, huh, interesting. I wonder what that could mean. And like he gave him a warning. He's like, hey, I'm practically saving you guys. This is a slaughterhouse here. So I was like, I wonder what that means.
And what would have the end goal been? Like, say they joined, right? Like, say they bit them and turned them into vampires. What would have been the end goal? Like, what would happen after? We don't know.
I just think that I think we like the movie because of the themes that we actually were able to pick up, obviously. But I think there are some deeper shit in it that we just like maybe haven't picked up or we just can't explain.
Right.
Because sure, they're portrayed as evil. It's just the way you described it. And we talked about the cultural appropriation and shit, right? But then at near the end, it's like, we're doing you a favor. This is real freedom. You came here with the money, Al Capone money or whatever, to buy yourself freedom. But this is real freedom here. And it's like, interesting. This is a slaughterhouse. I'm doing you a favor. And then later on in the movie, Michael B. Jordan, obviously, like his brother, I think is Stack, gets bitten. He turns a vampire.
Yes.
And Smoke leaves him, like he lets him go alive. He's like, hey, in exchange of like I'll let you live if you let Sammy grow up and do his thing. Mm-hmm. And then the post-credit scene, which is really cool. I know we're jumping ahead, but I just want to, it ties back to what I'm saying, is we get a visit from those same vampires, Stack and then Haley Steinfeld, his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And they come to Sammy, where Sammy's already older.
It's in the 90s.
It's in the 90s. And he's playing the blues and he's doing his thing. Mm-hmm. And yet they didn't like kill him or anything.
Right. So
it's like
they just have him there and he plays the same song that he played him in the car in an earlier scene. Mm-hmm. And I forgot what were the words that they exchanged.
I don't know. I forgot, but it was definitely important. It was definitely important. I fucking forgot, dude. Oh my God. But but here's the thing. They didn't do anything to him. Mm-hmm. And then I guess they didn't really attack. Like, I guess we don't know. Is there more vampires out there that they did? I don't know. Were they truly evil or not? Like, I don't know. And also with the music, if we look back at the music in the beginning of the movie, he said, oh yeah, there's some, in every culture, there is like an amazing player and it could pierce the veil and welcome unwanted guests and stuff. And it's like, okay, the other symbolism could be, because the vampire was looking for Sammy. Mm-hmm. And that's how I put the pieces together in the beginning of the movie. It's like, oh, okay, so Sammy's playing the blues, but I guess he's playing it too well or some shit that he's like what in their words, pierced the veil and like opened up this gateway, and now this vampire's like looking for him. Because remember, he's like, give me the boy, give me Sammy, and like I'll let y'all live. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
It definitely has to deal with like, there's more, man. There's more to this shit, man. I'm trying to fucking I'm trying to piece everything together, man.
I know, dude. I know.
But like, but what's crazy is like the things that we were able to figure out, that alone is like fire, bro. Like 10 out of 10. And just imagine that the shit that we're missing, we're probably just scratching the surface, bro.
Yeah, it's true.
I just want to make sense of it all.
But what if there is no deeper meaning? We're just overthinking it.
Nah, no way. There has to be, man. There has to be. You know?
Well, I pulled up a little description.
Okay.
A description of what happens in the post-credit scene. Mm-hmm. Right? So here it says, decades later, and this is the post-credit scene after the movie has ended. In 1992, an elderly Sammy, now a celebrated blues musician in Chicago, is visited by an ageless Stack and Mary. Stack reveals that he was spared by Smoke that night at the juke joint, allowing him to go free under the condition that he let Sammy live a peaceful life. Mm-hmm. The couple offers him the chance at immortality, but Sam declines.
Yeah.
Before leaving, Stack asks Sammy to play a song, and Sammy obliges, confessing that although that night still haunts him, the day leading up to it was the greatest of his life. Stack agrees, as it was the last time he saw his brother, the son, and the only time he ever truly felt free.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's where he fully felt free. Mm-hmm. And because he was having a good time with like his community and the music. And I guess that also kind of connects to like how what I thought about the music, how it could be used as good and like soothing and shit. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I just know there's more to it than that.
That maybe we're not picking up on.
Yeah, dude. Like there has to be something. There has to be a YouTube video out there like breaking down sinners. It's like there has to be something, dude.
Yeah, because like I said, the vampire, it seemed like you guys want to be free.
Yeah.
Well, this is the way to be free. Mm-hmm. This is a slaughterhouse. Like that part gets me, bro. I was like, huh, okay, like what the fuck?
I know, man.
Like why? Like why does that? What does that mean? Sure, we got the cultural appropriation shit, but I feel like that was kind of given. That was like kind of obvious,
right? What if it's just that?
But when it talks, no, man, because then it talks about freedom as well.
Huh.
You know, like freedom is definitely like a topic for sure because it's brought up a lot in the movie, and it's during the Jim Crow era,
right?
Where like certain areas, like in Chicago, you know, black people are more free and stuff, versus like where they're from, it's not quite there yet. And I guess their purpose is to try to find that freedom. And I guess maybe they're able to do that with music and being around the community. But then the vampire comes in and it's like, you see what I mean, man? I don't fucking know, man.
I know.
Let us know in the comments, guys. Like, you guys are probably listening to this, like, screaming, like, no, man, it's this. Let us know in the comments. Because I'm pretty sure Hav and I just scratched the surface, man. There has to be, like, a deeper meaning.
Yeah, here it says, Remick, which is the lead vampire, negotiates, praising Sammy's supernatural talent and claiming that vampirism offers immortality, freedom, and escape from racism. He also warns that Hogwood, who secretly heads the local clan, plans to attack them at dawn. Yeah. When the survivors refuse his offer, Remick and Bo confront Grace, threatening to attack her daughter. And then that's like, in a desperate act, Grace dared them into the juke joint, inviting them in, which results in a battle. And then it goes into like that whole fight sequence that happens inside of the juke joint. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right, man. I mean, it just saying that vampirism offers immortality and freedom and escape from racism.
But that has to be that's symbolizes something. Like, it's representing something.
Yeah.
But what is that?
Mm-hmm. Because like my whole deeper messaging of like, the white people trying to run black people out of town thing. But like, once you bite them and they become vampires, you guys are working together. You guys are working in unison to the point where they're dancing in that little cult circle.
Yeah.
When the dude's dancing his Irish jig. It's pissing me off that we can't figure it out, dude. You brought up good questions that I don't even think I thought about, dude. I was like, fuck, you're right, dude. You're fucking right. What the fuck? Like, this didn't bother me before. Now I'm like, fuck, dude, you're right. Like, what if there is I'll be more pissed if I find out there's nothing to it. And we're just overthinking this shit. That's where I'm going to be more fucking, like, irritated. I'm going to be like, fuck, dude.
I'm reading something here. The greatest evil here is white supremacy, the system of structural racism and bigotry underlining all aspects of life in 1930s Mississippi. The vampire is ultimately presented in a sympathetic light, expressing solidarity and grief and loss with the preyed upon black characters. Furthermore, there's even a more sinister power to fear in this film. Remick, the vampire, positions himself as an ally to the oppressed, rather than yet another oppressive force, by revealing a worse evil than himself. He reveals to Smoke and the others that the white man who sold twins a sawmill is the leader of the local KKK chapter, who, despite the twins asserting their money, must also buy them protection from the clan, plan to show up the next morning, burn down the property, and murder anyone left inside. Of course, this could just be a fear-mongering tactic if Remick weren't proven right in the end. But Sinner's humanization of Remick doesn't stop there. The fact that Remick is Irish, as signified by a slight accent and by a truly spine-tingling Irish folk number he leads the freshly turned vampires in performing, is key. Irish people in America were not considered racially white in the way that they are today. They have a history that shares similarities with that of black people, involving colonization, religious persecution, and more. Thus, Remick's plea to those still inside the juke joint is realistic. Black people are never safe from persecution. They can stay among the mortals, where their money is no good to the ruling white class, where they can be conned or lynched at a moment's notice, or they can join him and his cultish community, where former KKK members now commune with their fanged black and Asian brethren. It's an alternative. In a world with truly no good options. Is it a life of darkness and destruction? Sure, but it's a life nonetheless. Remick's opening pitch to get the black folk left inside the juke joint to join him then is not a threat but a call for solidarity. So shout out to you. Holy fuck to this post that I found. But there you go. You see what I mean?
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Mm-hmm.
Like the monsters in this movie are not really the monsters.
Yeah. It's
type
not.
of thing.
That's what it says right here, man.
Right. You see, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But now that history lesson about how Irish people were not considered racially white at that time period makes more sense. And I think
they suffered the same thing as the black people at the time. It says colonization, religious persecution, and other stuff. Yeah,
and like I think like since we didn't know that, at least I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
There's no way we could have made that connection. Yeah. That's the pieces that we were missing.
But listen, I did know that there was a meaning to it.
Yes.
Because there was a whole scene dedicated to it.
Right.
There was a whole scene dedicated to the Irish culture. And it's like, that's so random. Uh-huh. Like, if it didn't mean anything, why would it be there?
Right.
That's why I made the connection. No, bro, there has to be a deeper meaning with this shit. Because it was a whole fucking musical number, which is pretty cool. It was pretty badass.
Yeah.
So that's why. Interesting. So yeah, they're viewed as a monster, but he's not really the monster. And trying to... Okay. So they can stay among the mortals, where their money is no good to the white class. Or they can join him in his cultish community, where... okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. That does make more sense.
Yeah. We didn't have those details before. That's what we were missing. But now that adds a whole nother layer to the movie.
Absolutely, bro.
You know what I mean? It really makes you think about the movie a little differently.
Yeah, it does, for sure. Like I said, there's different types of like themes going on here. But if that's the case, then does that mean were we wrong about the appropriation and shit? Like, I don't think so.
No, it has to play a factor too.
Yeah, right.
On a much more broader scale, it has to play that factor. But if you want to go deeper, it's like, well, but if we dig a little deeper, if you know the lore, maybe they're not the bad guys. Because surface level, I think, like you said, we're scratching the surface. Surface level, that's what it looked like, bro. I mean, when three white people go up to a juke joint, primarily involving black people, and they want to join in on the party, like that's cultural appropriation. Like they're trying to like be part of the crew. And then at the end, when they get turned away, and now their whole plan is to kill them because they're really vampires. Like it's just scratching the surface. But if you go on a much more like deeper scale, and it's like, well, maybe they're not the bad guys. Maybe they're actually they're offering them a way out. It's like saying, if what you read is correct about the Irish dealing with those problems around that same time, it's like their way of saying you and I are one and the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? It kind of, it plays that factor now. Because you see, without that, there's no way we could have made that connection. Like, why else would these people? Why else would vampires be considered freedom? Why are they trying to recruit them?
Then why were they portrayed as vampires?
Could it just be for the sake of the movie? For the sake of like the action sequences, the fighting. Maybe Ryan Coogler wanted to be a little bit more cinematic with it. Like, rather than being a realistic fiction movie, add an element of supernatural to give it like that edge. It could just be that.
That's true.
But the movie is in and of itself is interesting enough. Like I said, that's what we mentioned earlier. Is that you take the vampire element away, and the movie is still immersive enough for you to for you to sink your teeth in. Yeah. You know, even without that in the movie, like I felt like the movie was well written, well acted. Like everything about it was phenomenal to the point where like if the vampires weren't even a thing in this movie, like you would still be immersed. But I think he added the vampire element to kind of show like it's like a way of like, it's like when I mentioned earlier that the monsters in this movie are not really the monsters. And it's like, what the fuck? I'm not trying to become a vampire. I'm not going to let these fuckers eat me and let me bleed out and all this crazy shit. But when you think about it, they're trying to portray to the characters and to the audience like, but we're technically the good guys. We're technically the way out.
And it's not like they're trying to take them like or steal anything from their like cultural appropriation. It's more so that they want to take them, like they want to form like a bonding like group thing. Like, hey, we're just like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think where Ryan Coogler wanted to go, because you said, why make them vampires? I think Ryan Coogler needed something for the plot. Something that would obviously, like visually and just everything, make these people bad guys from the get-go. And how do you do that? You make them vampires. You make them werewolves. You make them serial killers. Like, you make them, whatever. You have to give them something. Because when you think of vampires, dude, you're going to think of bad people. Like, you're going to think evil. You're going to think that they're the villains. That you're going to suck your blood. They're going to eat you. They're going to make you immortal. Like, you see them as villains. So he needed a supernatural element to give the character, thus making them vampires, because at the surface, they're the villains.
Yeah.
They're the ones we need to kill. They're the ones that we need to fight against. But then when the movie goes on in a deeper level, you realize like that they're not actually the real monsters in the movie, despite how monstrous they are. At one point, they have long fucking nails, dude. They look like claws. And the sharp ass teeth and shit. And then like at one point, that one dude gets his fucking face blown out with a gun, and his face is all sliced open,
dude.
and like it stays that way. And it's just like, it gives them like a monstrous look. But even then, they're still kind of technically good. You know what I mean? And they're very polite.
Yep.
They're very like,
Very
hey,
polite.
we don't want to break in. They're like, hey, y'all want to invite us in? Like, they could have just forced themselves in. They could have forced themselves into the juke joint, but they were always polite about it. They patiently waited outside.
And I guess it could also fit with a theme of like spiritually and like death. Because there's this character that Smoke, like that's his girl or wife or whatever. I don't know. That she's like a very spiritual and shit. Like she knew, they're dead.
With that juju shit.
So yeah. So could it be that it could also play into that where, when you play the Ouija board, you're welcoming people in. You're welcoming the dead. And so though they're already dead, but it's just like their souls that are trapped, or I forgot what she said. So it's one of those things where, well, hey, the dead can't get you unless you welcome it. How do you welcome the dead? Well, we learned that if Sammy's able to pierce that veil and open the gates, that's one way. That's it. That's what brought him there. And obviously, if you like engage with it, like, hey, come on in, and like it's kind of like if you play Ouija board, you're kind of saying that, hey, come on in, type. You know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe that could also like tie in into that as well. I found some other stuff here on Reddit what they're talking about. I guess I'll read what this person says. Shout out to you. I'm gonna shout them out on Reddit. Your username, responsible algae 394, because I don't want to take credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shout out to you. So he says something here, or she, that's pretty interesting. He's like, okay, interesting. So that there's a couple themes here. One that he says is, or she says, assimilation. I don't think the theme here is straight out cultural appropriation, but the dangers of assimilation itself. Am I saying that right? Assimilation. Yeah, bro, right? Am I like tweaking right now?
Assimilation.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That's
assimilation.
Yeah. But the dangers of assimilation itself. The main vampire is Irish, and yes, while they are not considered white early on in American history by the same time in the film, circa 1925, they are. The vampire is not trying to wipe out black people. He wants to absorb them into a larger shared culture. But the danger of that here is that they will lose all individuality. Yeah, that's true. Because remember whenever he bites someone, he knows that person's memories and stuff.
Yeah,
and that's like a hive mind. Do you remember when he got hit with the guitar and shit? Everyone feels reacting? It. So that also does make sense, where it says that you lose, the danger of that is that you will lose all individuality. As Annie states, Annie's the spiritual girl, I think.
Okay.
The vampires live forever, but have lost their soul and will never be able to join their ancestors. The amazing scene when Sammy interacts with the past and future black experience shows that his musical ability is based on his ability to contact the ancestors. Interesting. So that's what that person said. He also mentioned racism at the root of the desire for monoculture. The white couple let the vampire in because of their racism. they lead the breach to their community. Presumably, they have white neighbors, and we know that there's a white club nearby. Why are they intent on entering black spaces? Okay, interesting. But yeah, I think that's what he. That part's really, really interesting. Okay, all right. So you know what? I'm telling you, man, there is like a deeper meaning for sure. Many different ways that you could definitely see this, and I'm sure we're just scratching the surface. And it's like I'm kind of dying to dig more deeper. Damn, and that's the beauty. Listen, bro, and this is why. Because keep in mind, guys, we saw the movie today, and we're reviewing it right now. And this is why I wish like we had like at least a day to like gather our thoughts and shit.
Right.
Because that way, not only will we like have a really cool fucking discussion, we'll be prepared and actually like instead of giving you guys dead air and trying to figure it out, we could have that answer for you guys. And like, I guess in a way it'd bring a lot more value to the podcast and the review. That way you guys are listening. Right. But we just don't have that time. And I wish we did. Cause if we did, we probably would have done the research and like, boom, 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 made this nicely and like,
like a discussion pod.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That'd be super cool. One day, that's the goal, guys. One day, you know, we'll have time for that. But yeah, that's really interesting. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of deeper meaning. And if there's anything that really sticks out to us that we catch, we'll probably bring it up in another pod, probably in an HRV pod or something.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know? But actually, before we, close out and everything, the vampires.
Yeah. I was going to say, don't forget, you said you wanted to mention some stuff.
So there was a scene where Haley Steinfeld talks with the vampires, like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, I want to see if you guys are good people. And obviously, she gets a weird vibe and she, like, runs off. And as she's running away, it's a shot of her, like, moving towards the camera, and we see Remick, the master vampire. I'm assuming he's a master vampire because everyone else had blue eyes or white eyes, and he was the one that, like, had red eyes. And so you could tell he was, like, probably the older vampire or whatever the fuck.
Right.
In the background, he's there and he fucking just jumps and like floats or something. And it's like a quick fucking thing. And it's Hav and I look at each other. We're like, oh shit. And that's the last time we ever see that. And that is what I was hoping we saw more of.
I thought that was Flight.
You think so?
It looked like Flight, dude. It looked like
it did look, yeah, like it floated. Yeah. It
didn't look like a jump.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no fucking way these guys fly too, bro. We're fucking cooked. But like, we never see that again.
We never see that again. That was the only time, and I wish we saw more of that.
Yeah, I did too.
Maybe some shots of when the vampires were actually invading like the barn, of them actually flying on top of the roof or some shit.
Or I was thinking the same thing.
So like
just
stuff like that,
flying like up to the ceiling or like jumping off the beams, like being more like acrobatic in a way.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe only he can do that because he's the master vampire.
He's the only one we've seen it done it.
That's what I'm saying.
Because towards the end, when Sammy's trying to escape and he runs into the lake, there's that shot where he does that big ass jump and he catches up to him. So he's the only one that does it.
That's true. But we never. I wanted to see more of that.
Honestly,
dude, what I was expecting, the way it was going to go down, is I was not expecting like only a few selected people were going to be stuck on a barn with vampires like around. I thought like a group of vampires were already going to be formed, and then they were going to attack the club with people full inside. And I thought we were going to get one of those scenes. We did kind of get that scene, but I thought it was going to be more grand in scope where the vampires invade, and now we see innocent people getting attacked by vampires, and we're like, yo, what the fuck's going on? But no, instead we get like what's 5 to 6 characters that are trapped in the barn.
Yes.
Where the Asian says, come on in, motherfuckers. And then we get that scene where they're charging in and everyone is fighting them and shooting it and stuff. We did get that scene I was expecting, but I was expecting it to be like bigger. Like I was expecting that everybody was going to be having fun, and then we're going to get like many fucking vampires outside lining up ready to invade. Yeah. That's what I thought was going to happen.
It would have been a lot more chaotic.
Yeah.
Because you don't expect it. They're just dancing. They're having the time of their lives.
They're like, yo, what the fuck is that?
And then you just hear like people busting in through the windows and through the door. And you just hear screams and shit. And it's like, and they can't get out. You're in a fucking room. Like, there is no escape. Like, it would have been very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
A scene like that would have been really cool.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But no, it's not like that. So the vampires that we see outside are the people that were in the club.
Right.
And it's just when they left, because they shut the club down because of they found that Stack got bitten by a vampire by Haley Steinfeld. That's how they all become vampires. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting
they all send them out.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't expecting it to go down that way.
Right.
I was expecting it to go down like, you know, that town that they go to?
Yeah.
I was expecting to Remick and those guys go there, invade the town. We're going to get a cool action sequence of them invading the town. And then they hear the music. They're like, ooh, that's a nice blues. And they go to the barn where everyone's having fun. And then that's where everyone is like lined up and shit. And, you know, that's how I thought it was going to go down.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
That would have
been
sense.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. I wanted to see that, but we didn't. Either way, I still liked how it went down though.
Right.
But I just thought that's what was going to happen. I was like, dang, you know, that's pretty fucking cool. And I also really liked the sequence where they finally survive. Like it's daytime and stuff. And we get the KKK members. They come in the morning to do that slaughterhouse bullshit. And the way their mannerisms was like the way they were, it seemed like I said, it goes back to what I said earlier. It's like they've done this before.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like gives you that chilling feeling. Oh shit. And then we have Smoke, who he's like a soldier boy. They call him Soldier Boy because I think they served in World War I. I looked into it.
Yes.
They served in the war or whatever. Then after that, they went to work for Al Capone and shit in Chicago.
Right.
So he was a soldier boy, and he had a Tommy gun. He had like a bunch of military equipment, and he like ambushed them and started killing all the KKK members and shit. That was really cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was fun.
That was a fire scene.
Yeah, that was badass. And you know what's funny? When we saw that in the trailer, I didn't obviously we didn't know what it was, but I thought he was doing that to like the vampires.
I thought so too.
You know, but no, it was completely different. So that was a really cool scene as well. But yeah, in terms of the vampires, man, I just wish we saw more of that. You know, it's not really negative, but I get it. And the way it went down, I just wasn't expecting it to go like that.
Yeah,
I expected it to go down like I said to you. Maybe they invaded the town, they hear the music, and then a group of vampires invade the juke that's like at full with other people, and then it's all fucking chaotic. It's like, yo, what the fuck's going on? But then again, it wouldn't make that whole thing. Oh, can I come in? Situation wouldn't make sense either.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
The one thing that I'm still trying to figure out, if we're on the topic of like deciphering deeper meanings, is the scene at the very end when Sammy goes back to the church, to his father, the pastor, the preacher, and he tells him to let go of the guitar, so he could so for salvation. And then the next shot is him in the car driving away, and he still has the guitar on him, and he puts it against his chest. And then obviously we see him grow old and he becomes a successful blues artist. Yeah. I wonder what that would have meant. Like the fact that he decided not to let go of the guitar. What could that have meant? Like I'm trying to figure out like what was the meaning of that.
That is true.
Or could it be?
I could maybe find it.
Yeah, or could it be like, because later on, like in that post-credit scene, he says like, "Oh, I wake up paralyzed thinking about that night," and how he says like, "But the day that was leading up to that night was one of the greatest days of my life." Could it be like symbolism, where like he doesn't want to let go of the past, he doesn't let go of the guitar, he doesn't want to let go of what he?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Like maybe I know that sounds super basic, but like, what else could it mean? Him not letting go of the guitar. Oh,
okay, this makes sense. So it says, in the movie Sinners, Sammy's guitar is a powerful symbol representing the power and potential of black music, particularly the blues. It embodies the ability of music to bridge worlds, connect with ancestors, and even attract unwanted forces. The guitar is also a tool Sammy used to express himself and his identity. So I guess it's just the way, maybe if like him letting go of that guitar was kind of like a symbolic thing, like, oh, I'm letting go of our culture and like the people with that came with it. And I think it's one of those things that he just didn't want to let go of that. Like he doesn't want to let go what made him him. You know? Despite
the night that he experienced though.
Yeah.
That's what I was like caught on about. Was I'm like, damn, like despite everything, like technically you invited him in, dude. With that guitar in your hand, you invited these vampires out. And because of that, almost every single person from that night is fucking dead. And and like he would not let go of the guitar. That's what I was trying to decipher. Like that was what I was trying to figure out. Like that's interesting. Because you said it, right? It pierces the veil and attracts unwanted attention.
That's what the movie, that's what it says. Here's another thing. Sammy's music, especially his blues playing, is depicted as having a strong, almost magical impact. It can inspire, heal, and even conjure spirits. And like I said, I think is what I said before. Like it's just symbolism of how music can be used in many different ways. Mm-hmm. Like music can be a way to soothe you, have fun. Then there's music that can be used like to try to put a spell on you or like a curse or even bad music. Like we talk, like there's certain rap songs that's, they're rapping about unholy things. You know what I mean? Like, so music is a tool that can be used for good and evil. At least that's how I saw it. And here it's just kind of maybe, I think that's what it's trying to say as well. Cause that's what it just says. It can inspire, heal, and even conjure spirits. Like, I guess, evil. It can summon evil and stuff. Maybe, you know what? Maybe the power of how music influenced people.
Okay.
Like think about that. Like if someone consumes like a lot of like a certain type of music, that could shape them in a way too. Either good or bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that could be another interesting thing. But yeah, that's pretty much. It's just it keeps saying like the same fucking shit here, bro. Like, look, the guitar is symbolic of the power of black music. Coogler is saying that it has the power to soothe us, but it can also attract those who are unwanted. Mm-hmm. So unwanted as in maybe evil, unwanted as like, I don't know, could it be people trying to take your culture or appropriate it? It could be other thing. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I guess it's just the way you see it.
And it just also kind of like circles back to what we've already mentioned before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, bro. That's the only thing I could find as of right now. But to be fair, the movie is new. I'm pretty sure people are like having the discussions like us, and they'll probably rewatch it, and like really decipher it and come up with a conclusion.
That's true.
That's all I got right now, man.
Yeah.
But even then, I thought it was really cool.
What did you think about the end of the movie in the post-credit scene? Why do you think, with the vampires trying as hard as they did to like kill everyone,
and they just let him?
At the end of the movie, they let Sammy go.
Well, he did say like, he smelled him. He's like, oh, I could tell you're almost there. Like you're almost gone. Like you're almost about to die. So could it be like a mercy thing or I don't know, maybe a symbolism of, hey, maybe you could be free or something. But maybe Sammy's like, nah, I've seen enough. I think I've been free or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's really tough, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
tough to think about. And it's just interesting. And I just wish we had like an extra day to really figure this stuff out.
No, I know.
And like have this conversation.
It feels like Oppenheimer, dude.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I would argue, I think we understood more in this one, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Oppenheimer.
Absolutely.
When we saw it the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. There's definitely deeper messages here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's it. I think that's all we could really decipher, guys. Let us know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed us having this conversation, actually trying to piece things together live. Yeah. Like I said, we watch usually when we review movies, guys, we watch it. We watch it the same day as we review the movie. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's just difficult for us to pick something out because we don't let it marinate. We don't let our thoughts like run for a bit and try to piece things together. We don't really let ourselves do that as much because we can't. But anyway, let us know what you guys think of the Sinners movie. Comment down below your theories, the themes that you caught, or what do you think of it? It's really definitely a powerful, impactful movie for sure, with many different meanings, very interesting meanings. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.
See you.